Students, let's do Brahmanath. Om. Om. Santi, Santi, Santi. Swasth.
Good morning, students. Welcome back to class again. Today we are going to start another topic from your biomolecules. In the previous class, what we have studied? We have studied a new chapter, that is your biomolecules, which are the major part of your cell. Besides the cell organelle, cell having most of the organic and inorganic component, and these are very much essential for survival of a living cell. And these organic, the mixture of your organic and inorganic component, it is known as your biomolecules. And these biomolecules are of your two types, mainly your organic component and inorganic component. And inorganic component, we have discussed that mostly water and different minerals, these are included in your inorganic component. And the organic component, it is mainly of your two types. One is your micromolecules and another is your macromolecules. In the micromolecules, we have studied that it mostly contains the monosaccharides, amino acids, then glycerols. These are included inside your monosaccharides, and these monosaccharides, they unite to form the polysaccharide, and these are known as your macromolecules. And example of your macromolecules is protein, then nucleic acid. These are also example. In previous class we have studied the micromolecule, that is your amino acid, and these are the building blocks of your protein. In the structure of amino acid, it is mostly composed of your two groups. One is your carboxylic group and another one is your amino group. Carboxylic group provides the acidic property, and amino group which provides the basic property to your protein and or to the amino acid. And that's why it is known as your the amino acid, due to having these two property, that is acidic property and basic property. The amino acid is known as your which element? These are known as your Jupiter ion. Yes, and basing on their function, basing on their reaction, we have studied different types of amino acid. And today we are going to start with another topic from your biomolecules, that is your protein. Before going to protein, let us recall what is the protein structure, or it is included in micromolecule or it is included in your macromolecule. We all know that protein is included inside your macromolecule. Why? Because they are larger in size and they are not easily soluble in the intracellular fluid inside your cell. And amino acid, which is smaller molecule, these are micromolecules, and they are easily soluble inside your intracellular fluid. Okay, let us start with the structure, that is your protein, and these are known as your macromolecule and important macromolecule. Okay, you can write that point. This is an important macromolecule of living cell. Okay, why macromolecule? Because these are larger in size and their density is high, and they are not insoluble in the intracellular fluid. That's why it is included in your macromolecules, and it mainly composed of or consists of micromolecules, that is your amino acid. These are the building blocks known as, that's why amino acid is known as your building blocks of your protein. Okay, suppose this is your one amino acid and this is another amino acid, then this is another amino acid, then these are these three amino acids are joined by your peptide bond. We have discussed in the previous class. This is your peptide bond, and this complete structure forms the structure of your protein. Previously we also discussed on this topic. This is your protein. And if you consider about the chemical constituent or chemical composition of protein, it mostly consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. It chemically consists of carbon, that is symbol is your C, hydrogen, that is H, nitrogen and oxygen. And mostly we know that the protein which is present inside our body, that are made up of mostly 20 types of amino acids. We know that more than 200 amino acids is present, but out of these 20 amino acids are essential component of your protein. We can write that point. 20 amino acids are the structural part of protein. And if you consider about these 20 amino acids, these are different based on their side chain. That is side chain which is called as your R group or alkyl group. And based on that structure, protein can be different form. Okay, based on their organization of amino acid, how the amino acid are organized. Based on that, a protein may be of 4 types. The structure, we can write the types of protein structure. Types of structure. It is of 4 types. What is that? That is your primary structure, primary, secondary, then third one it is your tertiary, then last one quaternary. Okay, these 4 types of protein, that is primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary, we are going to discuss. Okay, first we are going to discuss the primary structure. Before going to primary structure, note down one point that most of the protein of our body, it constitutes about the 50% of the dry weight of our body, and most of the part of our body that contains your protein. Okay, note down these points when we will discuss about the primary structure of protein. What is that? Who named the protein structure, or who named the term protein? The term protein, it is named by Berzelius in 1830. Named the protein. The term named by Berzelius in 1830. Note down these points. You can add this point in the introduction part. Okay, now let us discuss about the primary structure, which is the first basic structure of your protein. And these are the structure, or these are the row of amino acid joined by your peptide bonds. If you write that point, primary structure consists of, it is a row of amino acid joined by peptide bond. As you already know that peptide bond, it is the linking between 2 amino acids that forms a link in between 2 amino acids to form a protein. Okay, if you draw this structure of your 1 amino acid, suppose this is 1 amino acid, this is 1 amino acid, and when it will join with another amino acid, okay, this is R1, this is R2. Okay, then it is the carboxylic group, and it is the amino group of your amino acid, and it is the amino group of another amino acid, and it is the carboxylic group of another amino acid or R2. And if you consider about the peptide formation, the OH group of carboxylic group and the H group of your amino group of another amino acid, they will combine to form a protein structure. And if you write that point here, you can in that point, then here you can see H2O is removed, here 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen is present, and they will link and they form a covalent bond. And that peptide bond which is released by the formation of or released by the water, okay, here that is release of water and there is formation of a peptide bond. Okay, you can add that point R1 CNH2H, and here is your CO NH is remained, here H removed, OH removed, that released by your water, here H2 is your water, and CONH bond is formed, and this CONH bond it is known as your dipeptide bond. Dipeptide bond, and there is formation of, here you can see there is COOH, okay, here R2. Okay, these two amino acids, this is one amino acid, this is second amino acid. These two amino acids are joined by your dipeptide bond, and this dipeptide bond it is your covalent bond. It is joined by covalent bond. That is the dipeptide bond which is formed. It is your covalent bond, which is the strongest bond. That's why the protein molecules which are attached to each other very strongly. Okay, we cannot detach itself. We require some agents to break down the protein molecules. Okay, later we will know how the proteins are breaking down. Okay, then the last one is that it forms a polypeptide structure. Polypeptide structure by joining of more than 2 amino acids. Okay, here you can see the polypeptide. What will be a poly? Poly means many. If 2 or more polypeptide or peptide bonds is present, then it will form the polypeptide chain. That is known as your polypeptide. That is known as your polypeptide chain. Okay, these are the important structure about your primary structure. Here there is involvement of your which bond? There is your covalent bond, which is the strongest bond, which mostly helps in the joining of your 2 amino acid and helps in the formation of your primary structure of protein. Okay, note on these points, then we will discuss about the secondary structure of your protein. Let us now discuss about the secondary structure of your protein. Already we have discussed the primary structure. Primary structure, you have your peptide bonds. They are the linear chains of your amino acid and they will form the polypeptide structure. And in the secondary structure, that is modification of your these polypeptide chains. How the modification occurs? Mostly 2 types of structure. Secondary structure is present. That is your alpha helix and second one is your beta plated sheet. Okay, first come to your alpha helix. What is alpha helix structure? Okay, the single polypeptide chain, single polypeptide spirally coiled to form alpha helix. Okay, a single polypeptide chain it is involved in your alpha helix structure. That is, they are spirally coiled. What is that structure? If you draw the diagram of your alpha helix, then it will look like that. Okay, this is the spirally coiling of your alpha helix, and there is presence of several bond-like structure. Okay, here you can see there is bond is present in between amino acid. This is one amino acid, this is one amino acid, this is one, and these one single polypeptide chain, they spirally coil, and that is presence of the R group. This is R group, and these are known as your hydrogen bonds. And inside that, here you can see the one R group or one amino acid. It is attached to the another amino acid by which bond? By your peptide bond. That's why the peptide bond, it is known as your backbone of your protein. Okay, these are known as your backbone of R. Okay, that's why the backbone of your protein, it is very important. They constitute or they combine the two amino acid, and the hydrogen bond which is present in between two amino acid, they stabilize the alpha helix. Hydrogen bond stabilize the alpha helix. And the second one, the structure, it is known as your beta plated sheet. Okay, and in this structure you will see there is two more polypeptide chains are involved. If you draw the diagram, then this is one polypeptide chain, okay, and these are joined by your and this is one polypeptide chain, this is one, this is two, this is three. These are known as your polypeptide chain. This is polypeptide chain, and these are known as your the red ones which join the polypeptide chain. It is known as your hydrogen bond. Okay, here you can see there is involvement of three polypeptide. We can write as point two more polypeptide joined by hydrogen bonds. Joined by hydrogen bonds to form a sheet-like structure. A sheet-like structure. Okay, here you can see three polypeptide chains, they united by your hydrogen bond and they form a sheet-like structure. That's why it is known as your beta-plated sheet. This is the basic difference between your alpha helix and beta-plated sheet. Okay, note on these points, then we will discuss about your tertiary structure. Okay, the third one, it is your tertiary structure. In secondary structure, we have discussed it is alpha helix and beta-plated sheet, and in the tertiary structure, the polypeptide chains, two to more polypeptide chains, they folded in different pattern to form a complex structure or the three-dimensional structure. Formation of three-dimensional structure by two to more polypeptides. Okay, they will form the complex structure, that is they folded various pattern. They usually folded in various pattern, that is here involvement of two to more polypeptide chains, and in the formation of these foldings, that is two or more polypeptide chain, these are mostly united by 4 to 5 types of bond, and these bonds are known as your covalent bond, then ionic bond, then disulfide bond, then van der Waals interaction, hydrophobic interaction. Okay, that is two to more polypeptide bonds when they mixed up and they form a complex folding like structure. There should be some structure which will stabilize this structure. Then that bond, that is your covalent bond, ionic bond, disulfide, and they stabilize the foldings of your polypeptide structure. Usually these protein structures, when we will subject it to some agents or some temperature, or we will provide higher temperature, the protein structure will be break down and they form the simple structure of your protein. If you consider about the different amino acids, they are bonded by your different bonds, but these bonds can be broken by several agents. Okay, that is known as your denaturation. This is known as your denaturation. What is denaturation? That is breakdown of structure of protein by various chemical and physical agents. What are these agents? If you consider about the high temperature, these are your high temperature, then acids, then detergents, then high energy radiation, and last one is your heavy metals. These 5 agents that can be used to break down the protein structure, and that process of breakdown of protein structure, it is known as your denaturation. That is, if you apply high temperature to the protein structure, then if you apply acids, detergents, high energy radiation like your UV ray, alpha ray, that is beta ray, these are considered as your ultraviolet ray, and the alpha ray, beta ray, these are high energy radiation. Why? Because they are having the higher frequency and they have the capability to break down the protein structure, and different heavy metals which are present. If you enter into our body, they will break down the protein structure, okay, and provide several diseases to our body. And if you consider about the denaturation process, then this process can be inverted. That process, it is known as your renaturation. This is known as your renaturation process. What is the renaturation process? In renaturation process, the protein structure, it is re-established by removing these agents. Protein structure is re-established by removing these agents. Which agents? These agents that show high temperature, acid, detergent. If we will remove the agents from our body or from anything living cell, then the protein structure will be reverted or inverted to the normal structure. That is known as your renaturation process. Okay, note on these topics or points. We will discuss about the quaternary structure of your protein. Okay, now let us discuss about the quaternary structure of your protein. In the tertiary structure, what we have studied, this is the 3-dimensional structure having different types of bond. And in quaternary structure, it mostly consists of 2 to more polypeptides, and they are usually having the primary structure, secondary, and tertiary structure. Okay, if you consider about the quaternary structure, then it is also having 2 to more polypeptides, but in these polypeptides, they are having the primary, secondary, and tertiary. These 3 structures are involved inside your quaternary structure. That is, you can find inside your quaternary structure, you can find 3 types of protein which are present inside your protein. And if you consider about the structure, they will form a globular structure by joining of several units, joining of several subunits. And if you consider for example, one example of quaternary protein, that is your hemoglobin. Okay, this is known as your one quaternary structure of your protein. Why? Because it is having two alpha subunits and two beta subunits. It is having two alpha subunit and two beta subunit. You can find the hemoglobin protein that is present inside our human body, or you can see in case of your blood, you have the hemoglobin. That hemoglobin, it carries the iron, and inside the iron, due to the presence of iron, they mostly helps to carry up in the carry of your oxygen. That's why hemoglobin, it is very important inside your animal body, and they having the two alpha subunit and two beta subunit. That's why they having the complex globular structure, and that are included inside your quaternary structure. Then this structure is completed. Now let us come to your types. What are the different types of protein? Then if you consider about the types of protein, protein can be classified or divided into different types based on their shape, function and composition. Based on these three types, proteins can be classified, that is shape, function and composition. If you consider about the based on their shape, protein can be of two types. One is your fibrous protein, then second one is your globular protein. Okay, then what are these fibrous protein? Usually fibrous protein are thread-like, and the globular proteins are rounded in shape. Okay, these are thread-like and these are rounded in shape. An example of a thread-like proteins, that is a fibrous protein, is your elastin and collagen. Elastin and collagen. An example of your globular protein is your histone. Okay, these are the examples of your fibrous protein. They are thread-like, and the globular protein, they are rounded. You can see the histone structure inside your protein or inside your DNA. You have the histone protein, which mostly helps in the chromosome joining. That protein helps. And elastin and collagen you will find inside your skin. They provide the elasticity to the skin. Okay, these are the important types. Note down these points. Then we will discuss about the types of protein based on their function and composition. Okay, let us discuss about the types of protein based on their composition. Based on their size or the shape, they are your fibrous protein and globular protein. And based on their composition, proteins can be following types based on composition. These are maybe following types, that is your simple proteins, then conjugated proteins, and third one is your derived proteins. Okay, these are three basic types of your protein based on their composition. In simple proteins, you will find only amino acid is present. Only amino acid is present. And in conjugated proteins, which is also called as your heteroproteins. Heteroproteins. And this is mostly consists of your one amino acid plus one prosthetic group. Okay, and these amino acid and prosthetic group, they will constitute the conjugated proteins. And if you take the example of a simple protein, that is your albumin. Okay, you can find the albumin inside. In case of your seed, most of the amino acid it is present, and in case of conjugated protein, it is having one additional group which is known as a prosthetic group. Okay, if you, one important point is that if you consider about the protein, if it is present only the amino acid, then it is known as your apoprotein. Okay, if you consider about the, if there is presence of some prosthetic group or additional group along with the protein structure, then it is known as your holoprotein. Okay, and what is the term? Apoprotein if only protein is present, and holoprotein if additional prosthetic group it is present. And if you take the example of your conjugated proteins, then these are your chromoprotein, then lipoprotein, glycoprotein, phosphoprotein, and nucleoprotein. Okay, if you consider about the chromoprotein, there is presence of one additional group, that is different type of pigments. And in case of lipoprotein, there is presence of lipid. In case of glycoprotein, there is presence of carbohydrate. And in case of phosphoprotein, there is presence of phosphate. And in case of nucleoprotein, there is presence of nucleic acid. And these are known as the prosthetic group. And if the prosthetic group is present along with your protein, then this is known as your holoprotein. The basic types of your conjugated proteins, these high chromoprotein, lipoprotein, glycoprotein, phosphoprotein, and lipoprotein. And if you consider the derived proteins, then these are derived from your simple protein and conjugated proteins. Okay, it is formed by partial or complete degradation of simple and conjugated proteins. Okay, it is formed by, okay, it is formed by. Okay, if you consider about the decomposition of the simple and conjugated proteins, then the derived proteins will be formed. That is, simple and conjugated proteins will break down and they will form the conjugated, that is your derived proteins. Then the example of your derived proteins, it is your, if you consider about the, then polypeptides, then peptides, then proteases, then peptones. These are some examples of your derived proteins. Okay, note down these points, then we will discuss about the types of protein based on their function. Okay, let us now consider about the types of protein based on their function. Based on function, how the proteins are classified. In the cells, you have different types of proteins that helps in different function. Then first one is your structural protein. Structural protein. The example is your keratin and collagen. Then second one is your contractile protein. Contractile protein, that is example is your actin and myosin. Then that is your hormone. Which is the hormone which is present inside our body? That is your insulin, which is a protein secreted by our body, and different types of enzymes. That also a type of your protein. Enzyme is considered as a one type of protein. And what is the function of enzyme inside your cell? That speed up the different reaction. Okay, that is example is your amylase. And last one is your storage protein. Okay, what are the storage proteins? These are stored in the form of in the seed. In case of plant, you can see the storage proteins are found. In case of egg yolk and milk, you can find the storage. Different types of storage proteins are there. And example is your globulin and albumin. Okay, these are found in case of your egg yolk, then seed, milk. Okay, and the structural proteins, they mostly helps in the building of the structural organism, that is building of structural part of cell. Okay, that is keratin you can find in the skin. Okay, hair follicles. Okay, and in case of contractile protein, they mostly helps in the actin and myosin protein that helps in the motion or movement of your different organelles. And hormones, insulin is a protein that controls the sugar in our body, and the amylase protein that helps in the speed of your reaction. And last one is the storage protein, that is globulin and albumin, that helps in the, that is albumin. This helps in the providing nutrient to the ongoing storage structure, that is your seed and egg yolk. Okay, these are the important types. Note down these points, then we will discuss about function of your protein. Okay, now let us discuss about the important function of your protein. Already we have discussed the types of protein based on their function. Okay, now let us discuss what are the important function of your protein. First video, it is the building material of your cell. That is, without protein, the cell is unfunctional, because most of the function of your cell, it is held by your protein. Most of the protein, and it is the structural component of your plasma membrane. As you know that the glycoprotein, which is the structural part of your plasma membrane, that mostly contains the protein structure. And in the cell organelles, different cell organelles having your protein, like your mitochondria, then microtubules, then microfilaments. Already we have discussed about these cell organelles in previous lectures, that is the mitochondria, microtubules and microfilaments. These are also having some proteins that helps with the microtubule and microfilament in the movement inside the flagella or the cilia. And in the hemoglobin structure, it is present in our animals, and the hemoglobin, it contains the heme group, which is the prosthetic group, that mostly it contains the iron, and that iron helps in the transport of oxygen. That's why it is very much important for the oxygen transport. Why? Because it contains the heme group that contains iron. Okay, the heme group, which is the prosthetic group of your protein, and it mostly helps in the oxygen transport. And keratin, which is forms the nail and hair structure in the animals. And myosin helps in the muscle. Helps in most of the muscle contraction. Most of the muscle which are present in your body, that contracted by your actin and myosin. But we have discussed today the complete structure of one of the important of cell biomolecule, that is a protein, which is a macromolecule, and it mostly contains different types of structure, that is primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure. Based on the structure, they are classified, and the main types of your protein, these are classified based on their size, composition and function. And important function of protein is that they play important role in the movement, and also they are having the different cellular proteins. They are present in the hemoglobin, they are present in the keratin. Okay, these important topics you have to remember. These may appear as your short note, and the different proteins may appear as your short question. Okay, see, next class we will discuss about the important topic, that is your carbohydrate. See you in next class. Thank you.